What's up, everyone? Sean Count Blackearth here with an album review, this time of the 2012 Candlelight Records release of Becoming by Abigail Williams. Before I get started with this review, I just want to say that this is a 3-view review. Coverkillernation should be uploading his review very soon. And Runnerjma, both awesome guys. Runnerjma is uploading his review tomorrow. When those reviews are up, they will be in the description. Along with that, I want to do a quick plug to Iamcountcronos, who I know is planning on doing a review of this. So, once his review is up, also will be down in the description. Alright, Abigail Williams started off as a symphonic, blackened, deathcore sort of band, metalcore, with the Legend EP, which really gave them a reputation instantly of being a poser black metal band and not being true, and just got so much hate on the internet, especially message boards like the Metal Archives, whom I'm a member of, but I don't agree with a lot of things that are posted on there. And ever since then, no one's really gave this band a fair shake, it feels like. It seems like they're a band that's just cool to bash and not really even listen to. The Shadow of a Thousand Suns was an incredible symphonic black metal album, just amazing. And I don't get how people that like Dimmu Borgir or Crack Angren wouldn't like that, or with the album that came after that one, right before this one, in the Absence of Light, I believe it is. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I don't see how you wouldn't like that album and love Watain, for example. They're just very similar styles. They play real black metal, and it's a very genuine sound. It's not forced. It's not them trying to be something they're not. It's just very solid black metal. And with Becoming, once again, Abigail Williams has really changed the game. With this one, it's an atmospheric black metal release that really reminds me of Woden's Throne from the UK, who I'm a huge fan of. I love Woden's Throne. Then there's also, of course, the comparison that's always going to be made, Wolves in the Throne Room. There's hints of Burzum here and there from the Hivisle Setar Os era. And overall, it's just a very different release from Abigail Williams, and it almost feels like they're having an identity crisis because they can't seem to stick to just one particular sound. With this album, the songs are longer. The final track is actually 16 minutes. It features a little bit of a trace back to the symphonic days with some violin being used, but it generally sticks to the atmospheric black metal sort of style, which is having a very repetitive structure with some acoustic elements thrown in here and there for good measure. With the guitars, the clean guitars have a very clean sound. It's borderline acoustic sounding, and at a couple points I'm 99% sure they're using full-on acoustic guitars. It really adds to the atmosphere that they're trying to portray. It really adds a new depth of atmosphere, I guess is the only way to describe it. The chords that are played on those clean guitars are absolutely gorgeous, and it really changes the whole feel of the song when they're put on. But the clean guitar doesn't dominate the album, but it is strongly used. What dominates the album, of course, because it is black metal, is the rough, distorted guitar. And with this, it's extremely raw. It's extremely fast. It's very loud. It's your typical black metal guitar. It's got a very clean and focused sound. It's not too fuzzy. It's just got a lot of balls behind it, where a lot of black metal guitar in my opinion, sounds extremely tinny and thin. This has a very thick sound to it. It's not as thick as I would like, but it does the trick. The riffs are very good, very catchy. They play the distorted riffs with some clean over it, which really gives off this very eerie chain of notes that was really reminiscent to Mayhem's De Mysteries Dom Sathanas. It really reminds me of a lot of these older black metal records, yet it reminds me of a lot of these newer ones like Woden's Throne's Loss. The bass, it's audible, it doesn't deviate much, it does its job, it sounds good, and you can't really hear it that much through, like, let's say laptop speakers, but if you're to play it through your stereo, you definitely can, and it just keeps everything in place. It sounds like it makes up for what the guitar lacks sometimes, which is not enough oomph behind it. It takes a pretty thick sounding guitar and makes it perfect. The drums, extremely good. Once again, their drummer is absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love his style, especially on the last record. And this one, it's more based on the double bass than the blast beats. And it's nothing that's extremely technical, but it just fits so well. The drums sound perfect. They aren't clicky. They have a lot of punch behind them, but they're not hollow. It just sounds really good. You can hear all the cymbals very well. The vocals, Ken is a outstanding vocalist. His shrieks and howls are just out of this world. I didn't even realize that a human could make some of the shrieks that he's done. And a good example of that is not on this record, but on the last Ailstorm album, when he did guest vocals on the final track, he's got some incredible howls. And he uses them to an extent on here, but it's mostly the raspy sort of scream. It's very good. It's very reminiscent, once again, Wolves in a Throne Room and Woden's Throne. Just some very, very good stuff. Lyrically, from what I've been able to understand, it's very well written, very well thought out, and yeah, nothing really bad to say in that department. The use of the violin, this is something I'm a little iffy about. I'm not a black metal purist by any means. I love bands that incorporate other elements of music into their black metal, and excuse me, I really like it, especially if it adds to the music. With this, it feels a little too, how should I put it? It doesn't really add anything to the music, in my opinion. It does a little bit on the last track, but I think it's overused to an extent, and definitely could have been replaced by maybe some clean guitar work, or maybe just a longer black metal passage, which maybe would have helped build that repetitive atmospheric feel. But that's not to say that it's a bad sound, it's just it gets a little too much at times. It's not overused, but for me it just seems like it's out of place. This is a great album. I definitely feel like this is another step in the right direction for Abigail Williams. The last album I felt was a definite right step in the direction. Then they changed everything. At first I was a little iffy about it, but now I'm really enjoying it. And I think this album's a grower. Once first listen, if you're expecting what you heard on the last record, you'll be a little disappointed. But if you sit there and appreciate it for what it is, you'll find a lot to enjoy in this. Overall, I'm going to have to give this an 8.5 out of 10. This is a very, very good listen. Highly recommended to you all. That's it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, keep it metal.